Hi guys, the Metal Maniac back again, and today I'm doing um like just gonna be uploading 2 videos today, just because I don't feel like uploading a bunch of videos today. This first video I'm gonna be doing a review on the Judas Priest live album, Judas Priest '98 Live Meltdown. Um, this is um. This is a live album, one of two live albums that came out during the Ripper Owens era of Judas Priest. If for those of you who don't know, Rob Halford, their main singer, left after their 1990 album Painkiller. He left the band for a long time, and after he left, they officially retired, or they officially disbanded because they thought that no one could replace Rob Halford, that no one could ever match him. Until, I think it was either KK Downing or Glenn Tipton, came across a Judas Priest tribute band called British Steel, and, hold on. So they came across a Judas Priest cover band called British Steel, and there was the guy himself, Tim Owens, who when singing Judas Priest stuff, he sounded almost exactly right like Rob Halford. So he went for auditions, and he asked to sing the song "The Ripper," which is a very classic Judas Priest song from their second album. And within two lines of him singing, they're like, "Wow, that's impressive. You're hired." So and that's how he got the role of the singer of Judas Priest for quite some time, and that's how he got the nickname the Ripper, or Tim the Ripper Owens. But yeah, so this is the second live album, or no, first live album with him. The very first album in general that he was in was Jugulator, which I already reviewed. But yeah, so band members, of course, like I said, Tim the Ripper Owens on vocals, Ian Hill on bass, Scott Travis on drums, and of course Glenn Tipton and KK Downing on guitars. So first off, I'll show you the cover art. Now, it's not much, but it's still really good. I like how they have the Tim Ripper Owens era Judas Priest how do I say it? Insignia. Like, there's two different versions. There's more traditional Rob Halford version. His is like a pitchfork, but it has like two prongs underneath it as well. Whereas the Ripper Owens version of the symbol is more of a battle axe type looking thing. As you can see, the main part and then the two double blades on the battle axe. Which Ripper Owens actually has a tattoo of, I think, on one of his shoulders. You can see it a lot during live perform. You can see that tattoo a lot during live performances when he isn't wearing his jacket, and he has I think he has when he's not wearing his jacket and he has no sleeve shirts on. That's when you can see his tattoo of that. But yeah. So the insignia changed, and the logo changed. This is the version of the logo that's also on Jugulator, but it's not also the logo that was on Demolition. Demolition had a very similar Judas Priest logo to the traditional Judas Priest logo, just slightly different, like ever so slightly different. But yeah, here I actually like I like this version of the logo, but I like it more particularly on Jugulator because it is in blood red on Jugulator. But yeah, still a really good logo. There's the back. As you can see, the battle axe, I guess, has burned through the metal. The logo, not the logo, the insignia has burned through the metal. Yeah, so this was recorded during the tour for their album Jugulator. And even though it was recorded during the Jugulator tour, they didn't play Jugulator for some odd reason. Yeah, they only have like what 4 or 5 songs from that album that they played during the tour. Everything else was Rob Halford era stuff. But yeah, anyway, let's start off with the songs on this. First off is Hellion / Electric Eye, or Hellion and the Electric Eye. Again, I don't. I know there's some people out there who don't know this for some reason, but the Hellion is a very short instrumental that goes straight into the song Electric Eye. Um, Ripper Owens does a very, very, very good job on the song. One of his best performances singing Rob Halford era Judas Priest song. Definitely, like he does a really awesome job. Very, very good. Um, Metal Gods, even though Ripper does a good job, I never really liked the song at all. So yeah, I don't really enjoy it that much, but it's decent. Grinder again is decent, but again, I don't really enjoy it just because I never really enjoyed the original song either. Rapid Fire, same thing. But here we go. Bloodstained. Again, off the Jugulator album. It's easy. It's not better live, but it's still really, really good. There's only one song on here that I think is better. Ripper Owens. I think there's only one or two songs on here from the Ripper Owens era that's better live than the studio version, which I'll get to in a little bit. Yeah. Then it goes into the Judas Priest classic, The Sentinel. Ripper does an okay job on the vocals. He can't really catch that particular vocal style that Rob Halford does on that song, but he still does a pretty good job. Touch of Evil is okay. So Ripper Owens does a very good job with his stuff that he sings, and the Rob Halford stuff that he does a good job on vocally. He does a great job on like the songs that are either from the first 3 albums, and also the songs that are on Painkiller. He does a great job with those. Like I think he does his best on those, not because he doesn't want to do his best on other ones, just because it's more of his that he could do better. Like he could do really well with those types of vocals. Those like really high pitched vocals, or those like medium section vocals. Anyway, yeah, he does a great job with Touch of Evil. Burn in Hell is another song that was from Jugulator. Really awesome. Love it live. I think it's slightly better live than on the studio version. The Ripper, the song he got famous for. The song that put him on the map in terms of him being in Judas Priest. Awesome. He does a great job on this one. Bullet Train, also from Jugulator. Awesome. I love it. From Beyond the Realms of Death. It's another song I don't like. I never really liked, so I don't really like this version. Death Row is really good. Metal Meltdown is awesome. Nightcrawler's good, although I don't think Ripper does a good job with the creepy monologue part, just because the way Rob Halford actually does it on the original version is a lot better than on this version, but still overall an okay version. Abductors. It's probably the only song on here that's better live than the studio version in terms of Ripper Owens era songs. But yeah, it's really awesome. I love the riff, and everything's just perfect about it. Victim of Changes is another song I don't like. I honestly don't like a lot, if not any of their 70s albums. The only 70s era Judas Priest song that I actually like is The Ripper, but other than that, everything else from the 70s I just don't like, just because I don't really like 70s music in general. So, but yeah. Anyway, Breaking the Law. I actually think this is better. I think Ripper Owens sang it better than even Rob Halford. Like, I know that's gonna get a lot of people angry, but I really do believe that. Like, I heard this and I'm like, Wow, that's better than the version that Rob Halford sings on British Steel. That is awesome. Yeah, I love it. um, the Green Manalichi, I don't like. Um, Painkiller, not Rob Halford. Ripper Owens does a really good job on this song. Although I will say I don't know why. The thing about this is like certain songs, especially mostly with the Rob Halford era stuff. A lot of the guitar solos and riffs are very certain songs. A lot of those versions, a lot of the Rob Halford era stuff that Ripper sings when they do it live. For whatever reason, the guitars become very muted, very muted during the solo parts. I don't know if that was like a copyright thing that maybe Rob Halford, like maybe they made a deal where Ripper and the band could play the Rob Halford era stuff, but they had to like sort of dim down the audio on the guitar solos. I don't know. It seems like that just because with a lot of the Rob Halford era stuff that Ripper sings on here, the guitar solos are very muted. Like not where you can't hear them at all, but they're very quiet and very not in tune to they're very out of tune compared to how they usually are. But yeah, that's just something I've noticed. But yeah, the version of Painkiller on here is awesome. You've Got Another Thing Coming is also great. Hellbent for Leather is awesome. And Living After Midnight, what a way to end a live album. I love it. And yes, this is a two disc album. This is the first 2-disc album I got, where instead of it being like a normal hinge in the middle, it's actually a gatefold like that. You can see the 2 discs on 2 sides. But yeah, overall an extremely underrated and underappreciated live album. I'd say, I know I'm gonna get a lot of people mad about this, but I say it's better than Unleashed in the East. I think Unleashed in the East is an extremely overrated and overpraised live album, and is just not all that good. And just got a lot of fame because, well, Judas Priest hit it big back in the day, and we're like on a warpath to where like they just got better and better as time went on, to the point where like they were just doing really well back in the day. But I think that's the only reason why it's overpraised, is because they were really doing like almost epic proportions of just how good they were back in the day. But yeah, it's just not a great live album. This is much better. It has a lot of variety. Like maybe the reason why I hate Unleashed in the East so much is because it doesn't have very variety. Like it's only the first like songs from only the first 4 albums, because only the first 4 albums came out, and like those were all the 70s stuff. But and I don't like. But I guess if they released their first live album, like maybe after the first 2 or 3 '80s albums, they would have a lot more variety in that live album. But as it is, I think I hate it the most because it doesn't have a lot of variety in terms of songs. But here the variety thing is not a problem. Like you have songs from like the first 4 albums, you have songs from like the first like couple early '80s stuff, you have stuff from the mid '80s, you have songs from the mid '80s albums, you have songs from the late '80s albums, and you have songs from the '90s albums up till this one. Like you have a ton of variety, and it's just awesome. I love variety, especially in live albums. But yeah, overall, I'm gonna give this live album a 9.8 out of 10. So almost a 10 out of 10. Almost a 10 out of 10. A near perfect album. But yeah, that's my review of Judas Priest 98 Live Meltdown. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.